A top aide to former Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is back at home and recovering after she was shot on New Year's Day. Joshua Davis spoke with the victim about those terrifying moments.
I looked in my right hand and it was just covered in blood.
Kristina, former Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson's chief of staff, was at St. Peter's World Outreach Center in Winston-Salem, invited there with her mom to ring in the new year. Just minutes after midnight, and while walking to her car, she heard what she thought were fireworks. And the next moment, she was on the ground, in her neck.
The next thing I remember was my mom and looking over me and saying, "Chris," she was grabbing me, "where are you hurt?"
Immediately, people rushed into help.
Remember, there was this guy, and he was just popping me in the face saying, "Stay awake, stay awake." And I said, "No." I said, "I'm just going to close my eyes just for a little bit, just for a little bit." And he said, "No, you're not going to do that."
Now, 2 weeks later, the bullet is still in her body, lodged in the back of her neck. And even with physical therapy, it's difficult to move her left arm.
That's where all the nerves are and stuff. So they didn't want to mess with it because they thought it might cause more damage, especially after the initial trauma. Bathing, dressing, I need help with all that, and I can't drive.
She says she's praying investigators do everything they can to find who's responsible. It's a scenario she wouldn't wish on anyone.
I don't think if it was random that they should take it for granted, because it was at a church. Everyone deserves to go to functions and be safe.
In Clemens, I'm Joshua Davis for WXII 12 News.
No arrests have been made in that case as of this hour. The department says they don't believe this was a targeted shooting. The chief of police also said this case is one of two the department will reflect on as they work to change their policy on the initial police interaction with shooting victims.
Peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. All praises to the Most High. There you see the article that was released yesterday, or the news clip that was released yesterday. First of all, it was about an event that happened on New Year's night, as you heard. So here we are 2.5 weeks later, and the public is just hearing about this instance. Now, first of all, let me, send heartfelt thoughts to Mrs. Kristina that you saw there, who was the chief of staff to Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Now, many of you know Mark Robinson of North Carolina. Many people thought that, or think that, he's just a buffoon, a Sambo. Said some pretty outlandish stuff during his campaign for governor. And he also, some things came out about him that wasn't too reputable within his personal life. But nevertheless, this woman was the first chief of staff, black female chief of staff, who was appointed to that position. And she was invited to church. And this happened in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is about 3 hours from where I live. At New Year's night, they were at St. Peter's Outreach Church in Winston-Salem. And you heard her testimony where they were walking outside and they thought they heard fireworks, but it turned out to be gunshots in which she was struck in the neck. And, the first question is, why are we just hearing about this? I believe that if this would have been Governor Josh Stein or Attorney General Josh Stein or somebody of that nature, we would have, been heard about this situation. So that strikes me as somewhat suspicious. Maybe they don't think, our sister was important enough to get this story out. You see, she is now home. She's no doubt recovering. They didn't say how long that she was in the hospital, but you see that she does have some complications with the bullet still lodged in her neck, with some nerve damage and things of that nature. And The article said that, well, we don't think this is a targeted attack. They're leaning more towards a random act. And I would venture to say, if it is such, because it is possible, because, all across the United States on New Year's, people have the propensity, or there's a traditions to, let pistols off. And I've always heard of the possibility of bullets being shot in the air. And people always say, well, they have to land somewhere. And so that is a possibility in this case. But of course, due to her position and also, the political climate and events that we have been seeing through North Carolina and throughout the nation, we can't also rule out a targeted attack because, Mark Robinson, he was a very high profile person, very well-known Trump supporter. And, maybe, the MAGA crowd is mad at him for losing the race, for allowing his personal indiscretions to affect his public opportunity for office. Or maybe on the other side of the spectrum, it may be, some anti-MAGA or anti-Republicans who were, mad at her trying to help Mr. Robinson get that position. Nevertheless, that's all speculation because, as you heard from the article, the police are still investigating. There seems to be no leads, but also, as this video can attest to, as the article's being released 2.5 weeks later, there seems to be no sense of urgency in addressing the possibility of someone doing this on purpose. Even the Kristina Polite said in her statement, even if it was a random act, this still is not something that the police should take lightly, being that it had or that it happened at a church. Now, we all know what happened in South Carolina some years back where, what was his name? Dylan Roof walked into the church. There's been many attacks on churches over the years. The 4 little girls who, were the victim of the bombing. Many people don't know that Martin Luther King's mother was assassinated in church, something that they don't really talk about. She was assassinated in church while she was playing the piano. So Black churches have always been a target of violence, racial violence, not saying that this is the incident, but it also, once again, disturbs me that this is something that we are just hearing about today. I think that article, that news clip came out, yesterday. I saw some other articles that were, a day ago today. And so my question, to authorities and, to the media outlets, why was I think this is a major event. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Why did it take so long for this event to gain coverage? That's question number one. And also at the end of the video, you heard the news reporter said Winston-Salem police is going to use this case as an example of how to improve their interaction with shooting victims when incidents happen. So that also raises my antennas, because why would they need to improve their actions if they didn't do anything wrong in this case? Did they fail to interview her? Did they fail to identify her? Why was that statement made? Why do they feel like they have to change their policy in dealing with shooting victims? What did they do differently, or what did they do negligently, or what did they do incorrectly in this situation? But this incident, fortunately, our sister is still living. And once again, the article pointed out you can't rule out a targeted attack. being that she was, the position that she was. And so y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all think it is a targeted attack? And also, what do you think about the length of time that it took them to even make this known to the public? We're talking about 2.5 weeks here. And so I can't fathom some other high profile aide to a high profile person being attacked or being the victim of a possible attack and it not being relayed to the public till 2 weeks later. And so once again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to our sister, Kristina Polite, and, her family. I know it's a very traumatic experience. I've been shot a few times myself, so I know it's nothing, that feels good. And so fortunately, our sister, I hope she will make a great recovery. But once again, this is a situation which, seems kind of strange. Why was it held from the public for so long? And why, did the police make that statement? Well, they knew they need to do a better job of interacting with shooting victims. Did they treat her, less than other shooting victims? That's a question we must ask ourselves. Nevertheless, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. 919-587-7782. Peace and blessings. Thanks for watching this broadcast. I appreciate every last subscriber, people who share the videos, people who like the videos, people who call in with information, interact. I certainly appreciate y'all. May God bless y'all. Peace and love.
From local stories to Wayne County news, get ready to dive into everything happening in North Carolina with Taylor House Publishing. Got a story to share? Shoot us an email at taylorpublishinghouse@gmail.com. If you're looking to publish your book or need some top-notch mentorship, we've got your back. Join the excitement with the one and only Richard Taylor, right here at Taylor House Publishing. Speak with Richard directly at 919-587-7782. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and invite your family and friends to watch.
From Wayne County to the Carolina coast, Taylor House brings the news you love most. Tune in on YouTube, don't miss a beat. Local stories that keep you in your feet.
Taylor House, we got the scoop.
Taylor House Publishing.